king took his signet ring from his finger and gave it to Haman to seal the decree. The decree went out by couriers to all the king's provinces with the order to kill all the Jews, young and old, women and children, on a single day, the 13th day of the 12th month, and to plunder their goods. The city of Susa was bewildered, but the king and Haman sat down to drink. When Mordecai learned of the decree, he tore his clothes, put on sackcloth and ashes, and went into the city, wailing loudly and bitterly. In every province to which the king's edict came, there was great mourning among the Jews, with fasting, weeping, and wailing. Esther's maids and eunuchs came and told her about Mordecai. Distressed, she sent clothes for him too, but he would not accept them. Then Esther summoned Hathach, one of the king's eunuchs assigned to attend her, and ordered him to find out what was troubling Mordecai and why. Mordecai told him everything, including the amount of money Haman had promised to pay into the royal treasury for the destruction of the Jews. He also gave him a copy of the edict for their annihilation to show to Esther, and urged her to go into the king's presence to beg for mercy and plead with him for her people. Hathach went back and reported to Esther what Mordecai had said. Then she instructed him to say to Mordecai, "All the king's officials and the people of the royal provinces know that for any man or woman who approaches the king in the inner court without being summoned, the king has but one law, that they be put to death unless the king extends the gold scepter to them." When Esther's words were reported to Mordecai, he sent back this answer: "Do not think that because you are in the king's house, you alone of all the Jews will escape. For if you remain silent, relief and deliverance for the Jews will arise from another place. But you and your father's family will perish. And who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this?" Then Esther sent this reply to Mordecai: "Go, gather together all the Jews who are in Susa and fast for me. Do not eat or drink for 3 days, night or day. I and my attendants will fast as you do. When this is done, I will go to the king, even though it is against the law. And if I perish, I perish." On the 3rd day, Esther donned her royal robes and stood in the inner court of the palace in front of the king's hall. When King Xerxes saw her, he was pleased and extended his golden scepter, sparing her life. "What is it, Queen Esther? What is your request? Even up to half the kingdom, it will be given you." Esther invited the king and Haman to a banquet she had prepared. During the banquet, the king asked Esther what she desired. Esther invited the king and Haman to another banquet the next day, where she would reveal her petition